Invincible Mumu by Han Jung-Wheelia. Chapter 44. Secret Archive. Part 1. Heavenly Martial Arts Academy's main building. Deputy's office. Give me a star. Deputy head Dan Pilhu stared at Mumu, who was confidently asking him for a star. He wasn't sure how to respond to that attitude. Star? Aren't you asking for too much? The deputy can't even give me one star? At the innocent voice of Mumu, Dan Pilhu narrowed his eyes. The others would be deceived by this attitude, but not him. This kid was by no means naive or innocent. Of course, as a deputy I can give it out. But that doesn't mean that it is something I can give because you want me to. A star is a privilege. Those who collect such stars are entitled to see the treasures of the academy. Where did he get that information from? Even the deputy himself had never been inside one, simply because access to the hidden secret archives was only possible to those who collected stars and proved their worth. If one found the place prematurely and tried to enter without permission, it would cost them. Wasn't it said that the leader of the Jeagle clan was on the verge of reaching the border between heaven and hell? It was truly terrifying to hear. It was said that no one would come out alive if they were in there. Well, that was just the rumor passing around, and no matter how strong Mumu was, getting a star was different. Then how do I make you give it to me? When a deputy gives out a star, it can be under the condition of a special event within the academy or an outstanding ability of a student. However, such cases rarely involved first years. It was because first year was the time when kids started to figure out what they wanted to do. Which was why since the establishment of the academy, only a few people were able to collect stars. If you follow the rules, if you win a battle, or a martial arts competition, you will be given a star. I will do that, so can't you give it to me in advance? Where the hell did the kid's conscience go? The deputy wasn't sure where Mumu had heard about the library, but he couldn't understand why Mumu's brain kept asking for a star. He should at least realize that competitions can't be won with words. Dan Pilhu clicked his tongue. You will have to perform brilliantly and win the competition to receive it, so why bother asking in advance? I will perform and win brilliantly. Words don't seem to work on this kid. He couldn't even understand why he bothered having a close relationship with this kid. I can't even talk to him, it's like words have no effect on him. Dan Pilhu sighed and mumbled. I am so lonely. Huh? Mumu's eyes widened. Dan Pilhu was puzzled by the attitude. What? The lone genius of the Murum Association. As soon as those words came out of Mumu's mouth, the deputy rushed out the door and saw if anyone was around. The deputy turned back to Mumu and whispered. Where did you hear that from? The line you just said now, I'm so lonely, had previously appeared in the Murum Journal of the sole genius of Murum Association. Shoo. Dan Pilhu put a finger on his lips and asked the kid to be silent. He was embarrassed now. He never dreamed that his dark history he was adamant on hiding would come out of Mumu's mouth. Although it was an autobiography published under a pseudonym, he couldn't overcome the plagiarism controversy and criticisms and asked the publisher to call back the books and burn them. Where did he get a copy? He thought all the books were burned, but still Mumu knew about it. That book, you read it? Oh, I read it. I enjoyed reading it when I was young, but I didn't think that the book. Quiet. Please stay quiet about it. If this matter leaked out, it would mean a real difficult time for the deputy. Right now he is currently the deputy of the Heavenly Martial Arts Academy. And if the fact that he was the author of the controversial book was discovered, he wouldn't be able to walk around anymore and his position here could be cut off. Mumu narrowed his eyes. Although he was innocent, he wasn't stupid. One thing was certain from the attitude, just the book was enough to make this man go red. Did the deputy write it? No. Dan Pilhu blatantly denied it. But Mumu went closer and asked. You did, didn't you? No. I have that book in the dorm room. What? Bring it. Sam Pilhu couldn't hide his anxiety. That book had to disappear from not just the world but from the minds of everyone. How could the black history he had worked so hard to forget resurface again? Please, I request you. Don't bring it up. Hee hee. Mumu chuckled at the pleading appearance of Dan Pilhu. In Dan Pilhu's eyes, this kid was a goblin. He wasn't naive at all. Damn it. Who would give a star to a first-year kid? Even if he gave it to Mumu, there would be no way to use it right away, so it was better to give the star and get the book away from Mumu. Dan Pilhu rubbed his hands and said, "Right, my Mumu needs a star, right? Really? Huh, it looks real." Moilwa and Harryang couldn't hide their shock as they looked at Mumu's student card. The student card was a small book, and the last 2 sheets had a star-shaped seal stamped on them. In the middle of the star was written Dan Baekhyun and the deputy, Dan Pilhu. It was impossible to forge this seal as it was made with a special ink. First of all, the color of each star was different, so forging would be hard. This bastard? Jin Hyuk looked at Mumu's student card. Mumu had said he would get more stars and he did. What is your relationship with the deputy head? Even on the day of inauguration, it seemed like the man let Mumu go, but he didn't expect the man to give him a star. At this point, one would have to be dumb to assume the two didn't know each other. Ah, the deputy head. For a moment, Mumu almost talked about the book, but then changed his mind. He said he liked me. He made a pact with the deputy head. No one would talk about the book until they died, and it was a promise to be kept. He gave you this because he liked you? For that reason alone? Not just Jin Hyuk, but everyone looked at Mumu with doubt. A star rating, something which wasn't easy to get, was given to one kid just because the deputy liked him? Something must be going on between the two. What kind of deal did you make with the deputy? Enough, it doesn't matter what he made. Moilwa tried to dissuade Jin Hyuk from questioning Mumu. After all, seeing Mumu act like this, she knew there was no use in questioning him as it seemed he would never give out the answer. I can find out later. As Moilwa frowned, Jin Hyuk sighed and nodded. Right, it would be better to find the reason out later. Then let's head over to the library now. Like her, Jin Hyuk was also curious about the existence of the secret archives. Heavenly Library. It was located on the north side of the main building. What was unusual was that the building was built on such a large piece of land and kept far away from the rest. Mumu and his party entered the library, which was in the shape of a tower. Oh! Soon exclamations left their mouths. One wall of the library was filled with numerous wooden weapons and the other filled with training swords and stuff. It was only that they understood that these were all things which would be needed in the future. Non-essential books? Another wall was filled with books. Each bookshelf was organized. Fist. Spear. Knuckle buster. Feet. Sword. Blade. In addition, they were classified and divided into dozens of categories. Seeing this, they could understand just how amazing their academy was. Quite a lot. There were many first years on the first floor. There appeared to be around 50 of them by number. There were quite a few familiar faces too, but seeing that they were on the first day, it seemed like they were only checking it out. Jin Hyuk's eyes were set on the bookshelves classified as feet. Since he mainly used footsteps, he wanted to take a look at the books there. We can take a look later, let's make sure to head over there later. Perhaps because it was in the shape of a tower, there was a staircase which led up to the middle floor, and in front of it was a middle-aged man who seemed to be checking the kids entering. The middle-aged man with thick eyes looked around, and it was hard to imagine him as a man with his lack of a beard and overly feminine features. So burdensome. Moilwa's review. Something like an eunuch. That was Harryang's opinion. But they didn't say anything. As Mumu and his party approached, the middle-aged man got up. Oh my, freshman. Eh? Why is this so thin? A middle-aged man like a eunuch spoke that way. The man smiled brightly at Moilwa and Harryang's reaction. Ho ho ho. Don't be too shocked. It's because I am an alumni, so I speak this way. Ah. They really hoped he was the one. They had heard that many people in the academy were currently former students, and it seemed like this man was one. Jin Hyuk hurriedly apologized. Please forgive us, we have been rude. At Jin Hyuk's polite attitude, the man licked his lips and asked. Oh my. A really kind kid with a nice face. I am Im Jong, who is in charge of the first floor management of the library. Moilwa and Haryang also introduced themselves, and so did Mumu. Im Jong frowned and said. Oh my. So cute. Mumu smiled at that. Your tone is very interesting. Hoo ho ho ho. Right? It is the first time someone said it out loud. I like you. So tough. At the unusual tone of Im Jong, Jin Hyuk felt burdened. The way he talked was too much like a woman, but he didn't seem to be embarrassed about it. And then Im Jong asked. So what did the cute freshman come here for? Moilwa whispered to the man. Mumu here is going to the secret archives. What? Im Jong frowned. When he heard that he frowned, he thought that the kids were wanting to go to the second floor because they were top scorers. However, something completely different from what he expected was said. Im Jong, stroking his cheek, asked. How did the freshmen come to hear about it? The secret archive of the library. Only second-year students were told about it. From then on, the eligible kids were given stars and permission to visit. However, it was the first time that some first years on their first day came over asking to enter. I heard from seniors who graduated. Im Jong seemed flustered with Haryang's answer. Is that so? Such light-mouthed kids. I asked them to speak about it to interest the newly joined one. To be honest, he didn't think the kids would follow through with it. Most of them would inform only those kids they were close with. Im Jong looked at Mumu and spoke as if he felt bad. But what do I do? You can't enter the secret archives unless the special conditions are met. I don't think you were told that. Pwah. The second-year kids laughed. Of course, since they were all assisting in the library, they were all aware of the secret archive. If you want to enter it, you need to get a star. Before he could finish, Mumu held out his student card with 2 stars. The eyes of Im Jong fluttered at it. Oh my. What is this? Huh? The second years were completely shocked. Who expected a first year on the first day of joining to come here with 2 stars? Surprised, they all whispered. No way. 2 stars already? How the hell did the first-year student get a star? In the second year, not a single person had a single star. Except for those new third years, there was no one in the current second year who held a star. And it was only the beginning of their semester. At that time, a second-year student asked. Couldn't it be a fake? Fake? In response to that question, the first floor managers looked at the seal closely. Im Jong looked at that and frowned. No, this is authentic. It wasn't a fake but a real one. It belonged to the deputy head and Dan Baekhyun. Even if a kid wanted to forge it, they couldn't. Mumu asked with a bright smile. Can I head in then? At that, Im Jong's eyes lit up. Is this a first? It was the first time in the academy that a first-year student was entering on only the first day of the semester and with 2 stars at that. Chapter 45. Secret Archive. Part 2. Week. Ho ho ho. There are no lanterns on the stairs, so be careful. Mumu followed Im Jong, who was walking down the staircase with only a single lantern. The books that were available based off of year were organized by Ascension, and the hidden archives were located in the basement. Unlike in the main portion of the library, the hidden archives had a musty smell, with cobwebs, and no one else was around. I wish we could all come together. That is against the rules. Moilwa asked if she could look at the entrance of the secret archive too, but was refused mercilessly, saying that unqualified people couldn't enter. So the party decided to wait and watch till Mumu got back. Except for one person. Miss, excuse me, I need to go to the second floor. Ugh. Jin Hyuk was able to go to the second floor because he was in the top 12. The brothers seemed to be a pair with great luck. And they were plainly upfront with everything. Was your name Mumu? Jong, who was heading down the stairs, asked. Yes. See the red lines on the walls and the bottom of the stairs? As Jong pointed to a certain place, a red line was drawn like a boundary. A warning of sorts. Jong smiled and continued. From here on, you need to be careful. Even if you discover the location of the secret archive, if you think you can enter and come out on your own will, then you won't be able to come back here again. Ho ho ho. Laughing while telling a scary story. Ah. Is that so? However, Mumu's reaction was lukewarm. Seeing that, Jong thought. Is he an idiot? No, I don't think he is one, nor is he pretending to be one either. Looking at Mumu's face, it was clear that this kid was fairly innocent. However, it was difficult to guess what Mumu was thinking compared to his friends. Those who entered the secret archives reacted in one of two ways. Either they couldn't hide their joy, or they were extremely tense. But Mumu was neither. I can't guess anything. However, he was curious about another thing. Did he learn martial arts? Looking at Mumu's footsteps, they seemed to be those belonging to an ordinary person, and not a Murim, at least as Jong thought. Those who learn light footwork have a certain flow and distance between their feet, but with Mumu there was neither of those traits. I feel nothing from him. No matter how much he looked, it was as if this kid hadn't learned martial arts. But he didn't understand how such a kid got 2 stars. This only made Mumu seem like an even more unusual child. Why should I care when I am not his teacher? His only job was to guide Mumu to the first secret archive. After a while, a huge space appeared which was covered in darkness. If someone was not familiar with the place, they would get hurt. Jong, fumbling around the wall, pressed a certain place as he brought the lantern towards it, and soon the oil which was flowing in was lit and the fire spread in all directions. Weak. The burning flame lit up the space. As the surroundings brightened, 3 large black iron gates appeared. Above each black gate was something engraved. Battle weapons. Elixir/medicine. Secret arts. Looking at the tightly shut gates, the atmosphere was different from the library above. It was as if some treasure was being protected. Jong, who opened his arms wide towards Mumu, said, Ho ho ho. Welcome to the Heavenly Library's secret archives. Secret archive. A real benefit given to students with outstanding talent. Among those who enjoyed this benefit, there was no one who didn't excel, said Jong to Mumu. I will briefly explain the rules. You can go through each door only once. And you can only bring one thing back. I can take it out of the secret archives? Yes. You can take what you want. However, the book must be copied and returned within 3 days' time. You need to keep this rule in mind. Looking forward to it? Yep. But Mumu didn't seem that impressed. What he was interested in was talking with his friends about it, and the benefits in here weren't a particular interest to Mumu. This is a rare right? Still, he liked it. According to Harry Yang, the things were difficult to put a price on and were called the treasures of Murim. Then wouldn't he be able to make his father well known if he tried something? Where do you want to go first? Mumu looked at the 3 gates. And pointed to Elixir. Huh? This is interesting. Jong's eyes lit up. Most of the choices of the people who came here were secret arts. Anyone would be curious if the name secret was attached next to it. So he didn't expect Mumu to pick Elixir. Will there be things like old wild ginseng? Mumu's focus was on touching the most expensive thing. Jong, who was unaware of this, was puzzled. His internal energy must be low. He couldn't sense anything from Mumu, so he thought he chose this side for that reason. With that reason, he nodded. Ho ho ho. Follow me. Imjong took Mumu to the front of the iron gate which had medicinal herbs. In front of the gate was a stone statue with a square-shaped slab engraved with 8 stars. "You have the permission card?" "Yes." "Give me it." Mumu then placed the stars into the star-shaped hole on the slab. The stars which were placed turned red and then were pushed into the slab. "Oh." Mumu was shocked by this. "You can do the rest." At this, Mumu took out the other star he got and did the same. Once again it turned red and did the same. Not long after, the black iron gate opened with a squeaking sound. Wow! As the gate opened, Mumu was shocked. As if they were in a herbalist's clinic, numerous things were placed on display. Ho ho ho! Shocked? The sight was amazing. 400-year-old ginseng. 300-year-old reishi mushroom. Dried golden fish. Cold ginseng. Tianshan snow lily. 500 years old tuber fleece flower. Perilla medicine. Energy pill. Blood points. All of them were medicinal herbs and energy supplements which were difficult to obtain even for 1,000 gold. Most of them basically had the effect of enhancing the energy flow and other powerful effects, such as resistance to poison, flame or een. With a smile Imjong said, "It is important to choose the herb which suits your constitution. For example, if the yang is strong and you need to balance it, the snow lily would be good, and if you need to suppress the een, goldfish would do you good." Mumu scratched his head as he couldn't understand a thing which was being said. Ho ho ho. You don't seem to understand. Then ask me and I will inform you. With a smile Mumu asked. What is the most expensive one? Imjong's eyebrows raised. What is the most expensive one? Imjong was dumbfounded as he looked at Mumu. So far, among those who stepped in, none of them would choose this aisle. This was the first time. What Mumu took was the Shaolin Temple pill. Among them, it was known to be stable and have great value, or in other words it was the most refined pill and thus called the best. Oh my! He is one weird guy. Despite looking naive, he didn't expect such a thing to be selected. The selection was done based on something absurd. Kick. The next place Mumu chose was Secret Arts. When the iron gate opened, a study with 300 books was revealed. Unlike the first floor, there were many manuals here. The reason? All of the things in here are needed to ascend higher. There are things which were donated by various clans and were copied by the former students who were of Murim Association, the imperial family and the teachers here too. Books to rise higher. No amount of money would suffice to buy them all. However, it was no exaggeration to say that this place had almost all martial techniques. Ho ho ho. Even if he wanted that herb, he wouldn't be able to turn his eyes away from these great books, huh? Imjong narrowed his eyes. Mumu's eyes looking at the books seemed tired. He couldn't understand why. No. What is that expression while standing in front of something more precious than an elixir? Imjong clicked this tongue. Mumu was tired. All things I heard but nothing interests me. Mumu liked to read books. But not martial arts books. You want me to choose within half an hour? Yes. Mumu entered the place to see if there was anything interesting. Seeing that Imjong turned frustrated. Why is he constantly looking around? The entire place was filled with things that anyone would be interested in, so why was Mumu looking like that? Unable to hold back, Imjong coughed. Imjong shook his head and pointed to the back. Mumu didn't understand it. Huh? Behind you. With that, Mumu turned his head around. Where he turned was the self-defense art which was rare to find even in the imperial palace. Mumu looked at the shelf very carefully. Ah. Imjong felt relieved. He had to direct this kid to look over there. What a boring kid. Shoo. However, Mumu kept flipping through them too. Looking at his face it was clear Mumu was bored. Imjong couldn't figure out why this kid was making that face while looking at something from the secret archives. Mumu, who was flipping through the manuals, had a tired expression. Mumu then asked Imjong, "Can we just skip this?" Tremble. Imjong felt like he was going to explode. "If you want to, it is up to you, but not choosing in it." Ah. At that, Mumu's eyes widened. What? Mumu walked towards something with excited eyes. Had he finally found something? Mumu pulled something out and spoke brightly. "I will take this." "Ho ho ho. Looks like you finally found something, bring it." Mumu excitedly brought the book. Seeing the title of the book he was carrying, Imjong went still. Contraction and relaxation of muscles. How could this piece of garbage be put in this secret archive? He didn't understand, maybe there was an error in the selection process of books. "Mumu, you see. I think this book was placed wrongly in this section, how about choosing something else?" "I want this." "Oh my. I don't have the right to meddle with it, but it isn't right. Please choose something else." "I want this." "No. How about I choose something for you?" "I only want this." "I said no. I want this." Imjong gave up. This kid is really... He decided to give up thinking too. Kick. The gate to battle weapons opened. As the light went on, numerous weapons inside could be seen. Each of these weapons were the best, and each were treasured. It was a wonderful thing that anyone who practiced martial arts would want to touch. "Choose what you want," Imjong said with a large sigh. Normally students who come in already know what they want to choose, but he decided to discard those expectations on Mumu. What can I even expect? Most expensive herb. The trashiest book. I shouldn't expect much. It was difficult to guess what this kid could want. Unlike when he picked up the book, Mumu was looking around curiously. Starting with swords to shiny things. He was concerned. He didn't know what to choose. Should I ask the manager for help? He wondered how much money would come if they were sold. As he looked, Mumu's eyes narrowed. Huh? Imjong noticed this. Is he interested in something? He was about to give up, but seeing Mumu, his interest rose again. But the moment he looked at the weapon, he went stiff again. It was a gigantic moon blade, a Chinese pole weapon. It was a blade, which had a long handle like a spear. It was called the moon blade because of its shape. This one was heavier than the others, and was difficult to handle too as it was made of black iron. The weight was twice that of a normal moon blade. A weight which only master-level warriors could handle, and a perfect demonstration could only be done by a super master-level warrior. He approached the kid and said, "You seem to have a unique eye. But it is too much. It is a weapon which only skilled people can wield. A man called Biryu Giant was the only one who used it. This was his own weapon." Mumu walked towards the moon blade. "Can I?" At Mumu's question, Imjong smiled timidly. Calling Mumu an odd kid was an understatement. To covet a weapon which was for giant people and strong ones. Fohoho. It is okay to lift, but how? What did you say? I want to touch it? Oh my. Why are you climbing up? Mumu was climbing on the display stand where the weapon was kept. Since the demon dragon moon blade was heavy, it was tied with metal chains which were then tied to the pillars on either side. What is he doing? Imjong's eyes fluttered. Mumu tried to touch the black iron rod which was fixed between the two pillars. He wanted to touch the blade, so why was he touching the rod? What are you doing? Can I take this? Mumu pointed to the black iron rod which was acting like a pole. Why would he want to take the rod and leave the weapon? Kid. That is a simple item. And is used to support the weapon. Its weight must be over 1,000 pounds, and you want to lift that? You. That was when Imjong's eyes widened. Was it because this kid was trying to lift the rod without even taking down the weapon tied to it? The rod was definitely too much for even a dozen humans to lift. I said stop, It is dangerous. That, an unbelievable thing happened. The black iron rod was lifted up. ACH. Bulge. The back of Mumu's hand and forearm were bulging and swelling up. Even the muscles on his face were turning clear. How? Even a warrior in the peak of Super Master level couldn't lift such a thing. Imjong was speechless. On the other hand, Mumu couldn't contain his excitement. This is it. This is it. The training tool he was looking for. A weight which was higher than the weight he was using now. What he wanted was this. Oh? However, it was difficult to bear the weight of 1,380 kilograms without a stable ground. Mumu was on the pillar, so he lost balance. Sway. Dangerous. Imjong hurriedly moved towards Mumu. However, Mumu had already lost the balance and let go of the rod, but the pillar was swaying now. Catch it. Grr. The black rod soon fell and collapsed. However, a rod was nothing, but if this pillar collapsed, it would knock the other ones down. Thud. 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 Ah. The nearby pillars collapsed one after another, bringing everything down with them. Crack. Oh my. Ack. Mumu and Imjong both sank to the ground. Chapter 46. Secret Archive. Part 3. Cough cough. Mumu, who had fallen down, coughed and looked around. Although he had fallen down suddenly, he had managed to land well. But the surroundings were extremely dark, so he couldn't see anything. All the while Mumu still held on to the black iron rod which had fallen with him. The chains had broken during the fall, so the moon blade couldn't be seen. Clank. Mumu loosened some of the broken chain which was still attached to the rod. And then he heard a light flickering. Wyack. It was none other than Imjong, who was still holding a light. And then the two made eye contact. Imjong had a lot to say, but he endured and remained silent. And all because something else was more important. Imjong, covered in dust, looked around trying to see where he had fallen. Manager? At Mumu's call, Imjong's expression darkened. Oh my. What mess is this? Huh? I can't stay alive because of you. I feel like we are in the third basement. This is the third basement? How? The heavy pillars were falling and it did feel like they were moving down. But to be on the last floor was really something else. I was deceived by that cute face. You really are mischievous. Today we set a new record since the founding of the Academy. Record? Right. You are the first person to come down to the third basement without even having stars. Ah, how proud you must be. Contrary to his words, the tone was sarcastic, as it should have been considering Imjong was currently all drained of emotion. Despite being the manager, he was only in charge of the first basement. The second layer onwards had a different person in charge. The conclusion was this was his first time coming to this place. Can't we get out? Imjong glanced at Mumu, who had scratched his head and spoke as if he had no care in the world. If it was as easy as that, then everyone would have come and gone just like them. I'm going to tell you something. Imjong, I am advising you as a well-wisher. Don't even think about heading down to the third basement floor just out of curiosity. Even if it is for your friend or for yourself, it will be dangerous, your life will be at risk. This was the advice given to him by the head of the Zeegle clan. It was 10 years ago and it was engraved in his heart deeply. Whoa, what good would I do to get angry at you? Heed my words from now. The third basement is more dangerous than the ones above. You need to be careful with every action. Got it? Yes. Good answer. Imjong shook his head and moved the lantern to check if they could head on up. But the ceiling, which was supposed to have a hole in it because of the crash, was still completely intact. So the thing about recovering was true. He never expected to witness it with his own eyes. Unlike the other floors, there were stories about this third basement being equipped with a technique to recover, a defense to prevent escape. This is bad. If only there were 8 stars placed on the stone slab at the entrance, then the defenses wouldn't hurt us. And trying to bust through the ceiling might trigger some kind of trap, and the thought of this happening made it seem very daunting. Phew. I don't know. They had no choice but to find an exit. After contemplating for a moment, Im-jong ripped the hem of his robe and made a torch. Black smoke billowed out. Swash. The rising smoke flowed towards the southeast. What are you doing? Ho ho ho. This is a life lesson. The smoke will follow the direction of the airflow. Therefore, the direction of the smoke points towards the exit. Oh. Mumu nodded his head as if he learned something. Taking the lead, Im-jong moved. Take it easy and follow me, never move away from me. Yes. Wait, are you bringing that with you? Im-jong asked, pointing to the black iron rod Mumu was holding. Yes. Leave it and let's go. How are we supposed to get out with that heavy thing? It is fine. I can hold it, said Mumu while holding it. Since the moon blade wasn't attached to it, he could carry the rod. Im-jong clicked his tongue at the sight. He was surprised by this monster's power. Does this kid only focus on external energy? Is this why I can't feel anything from Mumu? This isn't important right now. Im-jong nodded and said, let's go. Both started moving. As Im-jong moved, he was on alert so as to not touch anything that might be trapped. As he managed the first and second basements once in a while, he knew what kind of defenses would be there. Don't step there. Okay. From here on, only step where I step. Yes. Would all this be helpful? Moving 40 steps ahead, nothing happened. With that, Im-jong gained confidence. He thought that he would be able to escape safely from this place. Until Mumu called. Manager. Be quiet. We still need to be alert. Manager. I told you to be quiet. I think this is the same place. What? Mumu pointed to the chain on the floor. It was the place where Mumu released the chains on the rod. Seeing that, Im-jong frowned. Ah. What? We walked in a straight line, so how did we come back here? Im-jong began to think. What is it? Oh my, this is bad. Huh? It seems like we are trapped in a formation. Formation? Im-jong spoke with a crying face. We fell right into the middle of the hell of misfortunes. What is that? What is what? You and I are both done for. Hell of misfortunate. It was one of the worst things, and the best technique in Murim, which had been made by the Zegal clan. He finally realized that this was why no one could come out alive. Is there no way out? If I knew, we would have picked that up right away. Why would I wander? Im-jong groaned and screamed. If only Mumu hadn't touched that rod, this all wouldn't have happened. Yet at the same time, he didn't want to blame the kid. Even if they both worked together, the chances of getting out were less than 10%. Im-jong. Im-jong. You need to calm down. Despite not being an expert, he had studied things in his childhood. It is known to have 8 kinds. He learned some basic things and the 8-fold formations of the Zegal clan. There were 8: hold, life, injury, prevention, land, death, fear and open. Let's see. Looking around, he could see the line drawn. The lines formed a strange shape and connected together like a maze. The solution seems to be we need to pass through this, and Im-jong moved along the north line. According to this arrangement, we need to go there. There? Right. Follow me. And don't stop. Mumu followed him, and this time they walked on the opposite side from before and took 24 steps. And then turned southwest. And then 24 steps like that. Shoo! The space ahead vibrated, and then the entrance to a large cave appeared. Wow! Must be the exit. Ho ho ho. See that? See that? This is what you get for following me. Im-jong proudly said. He was worried what to do if something bad happened, but they were safe. And he tried to sigh in relief. But it says screaming hell. What? Imjong looked up and went stiff. As Mumu said, the entrance said screaming hell. He gasped. He had barely managed to use his mind, and he was only at the entrance to hell. Now he understood why this was the hell of misfortune. 8 hells. In Buddhism, it is said that a person who commits a sin goes to one of the 8 hells depending on their crime. And this one they were seeing was the 5th one. I am going crazy. He was close to going insane. If they entered this place, then they would be stuck in hell. And if they went back, they would open the door to the other hells. It was a dire situation. I can't move further. Imjong touched his head and sat down on the floor. It was impossible to know what was going to happen. Imjong said to Mumu, "We should wait here. I think it would be better to wait for another manager to come for us." That seemed to be the safer option. But then the entrance of Screaming Hell, which was looming over, suddenly approached them. Shit. In an instant, their surroundings changed. A round space, but like before there was no exit. There was a luminous pole on the wall and the inside wasn't very dark. Where is this? Swash. Before he could even finish speaking, water fell from the ceiling. In an instant, they were both drenching wet. Water was soon filling the place they were in. Kayak. As the name suggested, Imjong screamed. He would end up drowning in water and ing. How? Why? Imjong was in a state of panic as he didn't know what to do. He tried to think if there was anything he could do, but he couldn't think of anything. Finally. You. Break the wall. Since there was no other way, he thought of breaking the wall and entering another space. Splash. The water was up to their thighs. Imjong, who gave instructions to Mumu, moved towards the common wall. Chuck. The water was interfering with their movement, but as a supermaster level warrior, he moved pretty fast. Imjong gathered all the power at once and hit the wall. Bang! It cracked very little with his palm imprinted on the wall. Seeing that, Imjong was shocked. What is this? How can it not break? He didn't expect it to be this hard. Imjong tried once again. Bang! A sound stronger than before, but... The wall cracked more than before, yet the wall remained intact. He was at a loss for words. There was no way to break through in time if it wouldn't budge even when he used his greatest strength. This is no ordinary wall. How was this even made? He understood again just how great the lord of the Zegal clan was and what he had meant by not venturing into this place. This was a true hell that no one could escape from. Swash. The water kept pouring in. Before long they would be fully submerged in water. How? Thud. That was when he heard a roar. Looking there, he saw Mumu punching the wall. And the wall where Mumu hit had cracks, but not as great as what Imjong had done. Right. It was only natural. If a supermaster level warrior could do nothing, then a first-year student wouldn't be able to crack the wall. Imjong looked up with a disappointed face. Is this manager going to die this way? It was the moment when he was about to fall into despair. Mumu said as the water was rising to the neck. This can't go on. Of course. How can you crack it like I? Please look after this. Mumu came close and handed the rod to Imjong. Imjong wasn't shocked. He thought it was absurd for Mumu to hold on to the rod when they were going to die. Why the hell was he so obsessed with this? Tack. Gasp. Imjong, who got the rod, was puzzled by the weight. Although the water made it easier, it was still very heavy. It was strange to see this kid carry this around so casually. And then he saw Mumu doing something. And... crack. Imjong's eyes widened. Mumu's whole body swelled up and his muscles swelled too. From the trapezius to the pectoralis. It was as if mountains stood on his hands. Your body. Mumu scratched his head and said to Imjong. It would be better to destroy the wall than get buried, right? What? Mumu wrapped one of his arms around Imjong's waist and oh my! And took the position of squatting. Imjong was pulled into the water because of it. Yet, he looked at the muscles of Mumu. Mumu, who bent his knees for a spring-like action, immediately applied force to the soles of his feet. It was then. Kwang! As the force was applied, the floor cracked. And with that, the body of Mumu soared up. Quam! Imjong clenched his lips and shut his eyes because of the speed. He couldn't breathe. And then an unbelievable thing happened. Cha! It was as if the water was flowing backwards as Mumu soared up. At the same time, water from the ceiling continued to move. Pa! The water moved to block the direction in which Mumu had jumped. Mumu simply stretched out his fists and cut through the water. The moment his fist touched the ceiling to cut down the water. Kwang! The wall was pierced. And that wasn't the end. Mumu's fists pierced the ceiling and continued to soar. Quack quack wang. W what? Breaking down the space created by the defense technique by force. Imjong clung tighter to Mumu, who was still moving up.